Okay, so as promised, I'm working on my bird feeder, which looks like this. Alright, so what you're going to need to start off with is a good piece of cardstock that is 9 by 12. Alright, then you're going to turn it horizontally and score it at 1.5, 4.5, 7.5, and 10.5. And then you're going to go ahead and turn it vertically and score it at 1.5, 3, 6, and 7.5. What you're going to want to do next is cut. Right now, what it should look like is this, but it's going to look different in the end, and I'll show you what that looks like afterwards. So cut this line, and this line, and pull this piece out. Cut this line, and this line, and cut and pull this piece out. So you will see what that looks like when I'm done, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so once you've made your cuts on the score lines, this is what your cardstock is going to look like. Hopefully you get the whole view of that. You'll also want to cut at the score line here, and here, here, and here. Also here, and here, here, and here. So that they'll fold in when you're ready to do that. See? Okay. Then this is the outside of the box. So you flip it over to the inside of the box, and you'll know that because your score line will be bumpier. Where you made your score lines, it'll be a bump, and that's where you're going to want to fold in. So you'll go to the inside of your box, and you'll put some sticky strip here and here up to these two score lines. So here all the way to the end, and here all the way to the end up to these two score lines, and also here and here, so on the opposite end up to these two score lines. Okay? So then what you're going to want to do is adhere some decorative pieces, which I used the Woodland Walk Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up, which looks like these, or this paper. Alright, so you're going to want 2 of this size, and those are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And because I like texture in a lot of my work, I ran mine through the my Cuttlebug Swiss Dots folder, and then ran it through my Cuttlebug. Alright, and then so 2 of those at 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then 6 of these of the same design. You can change it up if you want to, but I think it looks, I think it kind of looks better if you don't. So, and I also ran these through my Swiss Dots folder from Cuttlebug through my Cuttlebug. Alright, and these are 2 3/4 by 1 1/4. So you'll put some glue on the back of these, and they will go, oops, my bad, turn it back around. They'll go like this. Alright, so it'll look like this when you're done adhering them. Okay, now the somewhat tricky part. First, once you're done adhering your decorative pieces, this is what it'll look like. And then go ahead and fold all of your lines at the score. This one, these two, not these two, these two, and these two, this, and this. Okay, and because it's been a while since the last time I made this, I forgot that I always like to add 2 strips of sticky strip here as well. Whichever side you want to choose as the bottom portion of your box, that's where you want to stick these, because when it closes, I want to adhere one portion of the bottom of the box to the center fold, or the center 2 folds. It kind of adds to how sturdy your box or your feeder will be. What I'm going to do is start adhering everything right now. So I like to adhere these two pieces first and kind of make it as sturdy as I can before I start adhering the rest of it. So you want to get it as lined up as possible. Stick it straight down. So line it up with the one score line, and that should get you a little as straight as possible. This side. Alright, and again, line it up with the score line. And press your fold in. Line and press. Alright, and that's the bottom of your box so far. And line it up. Perfect. Alright, so that's what the box looks like. And you could decorate it, put a ribbon. What I do is I put a ribbon and I string it from here to here, and then, or wrap it from here to here and from there to there, and then I put a brad right there. And I put a flower up here, and this is what the box looks like before you punch the hole in it. So, now what I'm going to use is my 1 3/8 circle punch from Stampin' Up! To make the feeder hole. Sit it right smack in the center, and it'll cut a portion of it out. And then do it on the opposite side, or the top of the box, and punch. Ta-da! Looking good. So the first thing I want to do is decorate the roof. And what you'll need for that is another piece of the same cardstock you used for the base of your feeder, and that is cut at 7 by 3 and scored at 3.5. Alright, and before you fold it, I'm going to have you attach the decorative portion, what I would call the tiles of the roof. And you're going to need, again, I used the Woodland Walk Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up! And this is cut at 5 by 3. And you kind of use your score line. Cut at 5 by 3 and scored at 2.5. So you'll use your score lines to line these two pieces up before you glue them down. And don't go over your score line, because you're going to want a little bit of a give so that they'll fold well together. Okay. Then you'll take two pieces of, again, this is the Woodland Walk Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up! You'll take these two pieces, and they are 1 by 3, and you're going to scallop them using the Scallop Edge border punch from Stampin' Up! So cut them before you scallop them, because then when they're scalloped, they'll measure 1 by 7/8 or 7/8 by 1. So whichever. There's one. Okay. And there's the second one.